Sad end tonight to the search for a woman missing in Jefferson Memorial Forest since yesterday. Late this afternoon, Lyndon Bray was discovered dead in the forest, which is in Fairdale. Right now, police are calling this a death investigation. WHAS 1119's Taylor Woods and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton report few details have been released.
Yellow crime scene tape roped off in the Paul Yo's recreation area at Jefferson Memorial Forest in Fairdale. After an extensive search that started Thursday night, the body of 24-year-old Lyndon Bray was discovered in the woods. Louisville Metro Police Department confirming her body was found in this area. And it was this trail right here that LMPD crime scene unit focused on the most. That's where they found some of her belongings and ultimately 24-year-old Lyndon Bray. The 24-year-old was last seen walking this forest with her dogs around 5 o'clock Thursday evening. Bray was last seen wearing cut-off jean shorts and a blue shirt. Both of her dogs were also found roaming in the area. There were emotional cries that could be heard from those who received the devastating news that it was Lyndon who had been found dead. Right now, Louisville Metro Police are calling this a death investigation, and the cause of death is to be determined by the Jefferson County coroner. At Jefferson Memorial Forest, Taylor Woods, WHAS 1119 on your side.
We also have some new developments tonight in the road rage incident where a 6-year-old girl was shot in Louisville. According to a recent GoFundMe post, doctors say 6-year-old Onyx may never walk again. The GoFundMe organizer writes that the child was inside a car when she was shot in the back. The organizer says her spine has been severed. Earlier this week, police say 3 motorcyclists and a person in that car got into an altercation on I-65 down near the outer loop. Situation continued north on the interstate and ended near the U of L campus until the motorcyclists opened fire on the car several times, hitting the girl inside the car. So far, 1 arrest has been made in connection to the shooting. As of right now, we do not know of any other further arrests. You can see and contribute to the GoFundMe page on your screen right now. And also right now, they've raised more than $6,000 of their $10,000 goal. New tonight, the family of Max Emerson continues to grieve his loss with his funeral coming up on Monday. This weekend, the Oldham County community is coming together to honor him. In a week since his shooting death in the nation's capital, countless people have helped raise money for the family. WHAS 1119's Connor Steffen is in Oldham County with more on the community's message.
A death in D.C.
We have experienced a tremendous loss,
leading Oldham County and LaGrange to do what it can.
The passing of Max Emerson has been one that's hit us all pretty hard.
To help a family mourning.
The community has rallied around the Emerson family. We're trying to find ways to tribute and give honor to Max.
One way, these t-shirts, inscribed on them one of Max's favorite quotes, "Champions find a way."
Said that it's not about winning the trophies necessarily, but champions finding a way means we work through our sadness.
Max Emerson was in the nation's capital last week for a Library of Congress teacher development program. The trip took a tragic turn when police say Emerson was shot on the grounds of Catholic University. Just this week, images of the moments leading up to his death were released. 22-year-old Jamie Macedo now faces murder charges in connection. A judge calling his guilt in this case, quote, overwhelming.
We have pulled this together so fast. I'm blown away by the community outpouring. The love in this small town is insane.
Back home, over 1,000 t-shirts have been sold throughout the community to help support the Emerson family. The goal Saturday during OC Day's kickoff is to drown the crowds out in blue.
And we're hoping that everybody that purchases a shirt will show up and support them. We really want the Emerson family to feel our arms around them.
In a family's time of grief, a strong message coming from the community around them. In Oldham County, Connor Steffen to WHAS 1119 on your side.
Tomorrow, Emerson is expected to be honored during Oldham County Day. It kicks off with a parade at 10 a.m. and then a festival will be held at the LaGrange Courthouse Square until 5 p.m. Emerson will be laid to rest on Monday. Services will be held on the Crestwood campus of Southeast Christian Church. Visitation is from 1 to 3, with funeral services expected to start right at 3. New tonight, we are learning new details about the riot at the Adair County, Kentucky Juvenile Detention Center and how it may be related to the fire that happened at a Louisville Juvenile Detention Center in the East End. Officials say a few days before the riot, some juveniles were transferred to Adair County from the Jefferson Regional Juvenile Detention Center in Linden. They were transferred after routine testing found problems with the fire system in Linden. The riot in Adair County happened after the transfer. Department of Juvenile Justice officials testified to lawmakers today that staff members did not have time for a proper intake and could not identify the transfer's gang affiliations.
The booking system includes areas to identify gang information such as descriptions of tattoos and photographs, but it does not have required fields, is not designed to generate reports, and is used inconsistently. If information had been entered consistently, staff may have been able to identify the security risk despite the time frame.
Lawmakers also heard from the Secretary of the Department of Juvenile Justice, Vicki Reed, who told lawmakers there is an issue with staffing, but it's gotten better with pay raises granted over just the past few months. Happening today, a federal judge in Louisville overturned his own injunction against parts of Kentucky Senate Bill 150, which temporarily halted them from going into effect. 2 weeks ago, federal Judge David Hale granted an injunction blocking the provision banning gender-affirming care from going into effect. The ACLU, representing families of transgender children, made the request. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron then appealed that ruling. Today, Judge David Hale sided with Cameron based on precedent set by a similar case in Tennessee, where an appellate court allowed the Tennessee law banning gender-affirming care to go into effect. In a statement, Attorney General Daniel Cameron called the ruling a win for parents and children. He says he's grateful for the court for doing what he says the law requires. The ACLU responded, saying the fight isn't over and that they remain optimistic about winning the case. New tonight on the WHAS11 night team, a shakeup for one Jefferson County Public School football team not long before the season is expected to begin. Our sports director, Ken Spencer, is joining me now at the announcement today about the Manual head football coach. Kent, what do we know happened here?
Yeah, Doug, Manual head coach Donnie Stoner has been temporarily removed from coaching responsibilities per Jefferson County Public Schools policies and practices. This comes after a letter went out today to Manual football families from the school's athletic director. The letter didn't indicate what occurred or how long the situation could last. Stoner is a 2002 graduate of Manual and was a longtime assistant coach with the Crimsons before taking over as head coach just last year, leading them to a 9-3 record. Manual has appointed Josh Gillespie, an assistant coach, as acting head coach until further notice. The first week of the Kentucky high school football season is August 18th. For the night team, I'm Ken Spencer.
Ken, thank you very much. A major development in the case of a New York serial killer from more than a decade ago. Police announcing that they've made an arrest in the case after new DNA technology allowed them to make a break in this cold case. Here's ABC's Rena Roy with the new details revealed today.
A major break in a cold case that's haunted New York's Long Island for more than a decade. 59-year-old architect and married father of two, Rex Heuermann, arrested and charged with first-degree murder in connection with what's known as the Gilgo Beach murders.
Rex Heuermann is a demon that walks among us, a predator that ruined families.
10 bodies were discovered in a wooded area near the beach in 2010 and 2011. Authorities allege Heuermann is responsible for the deaths of 3 women, Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello, and is the prime suspect in the death of a 4th woman, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, according to court documents, but he's not been charged in that case.
The only thing I can tell you that he did say as he was in tears was, "I didn't do this."
The 4 bodies found covered in burlap.
Immediately, there were similarities with regard to the crime scenes. All the women were bound at the head.
Court documents describe the victims as petite women, 22 to 27 years old, working as sex workers. Chilling new details revealed in court documents. Prosecutors allege Heuermann used burner phones to communicate with the victims and to conduct thousands of searches related to sex workers and sadistic torture-related pornography. They say he also allegedly conducted over 200 searches related to the Gilgo murders, the investigation, as well as pictures of the victims and their families. Local police joining forces with the FBI, first identifying Heuermann as a suspect last year. Then authorities say they tracked Heuermann's car and cell phone records before collecting DNA from this pizza crust from a trash can outside his Midtown Manhattan office in January of this year. Authorities say they connected the DNA to strands of hair found on one of the victims. He was then arrested at that office Thursday night. In this 2022 interview, Heuermann spoke about his job.
Okay.
Rex Heuerman. I'm an architect. I'm an architectural consultant. I'm a troubleshooter. Born and raised on Long Island.
Heuerman's attorney entering a not guilty plea on his behalf, a judge ordering him held without bail. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Family members of the victims say they were shell-shocked after hearing about the arrests, but thankful that someone is now facing charges.